Warp to the Temple of Time using the Prelude of Light. We walk into the temple to find someone waiting for us, turning around to find out that it is Sheik. Sheik says that we've overcome many hardships and awakened the 6 sages. He includes that our final challenge is a show-off with Ganondorf. Before that, he wants to share information. Another unknown legend of the Triforce that his people, the Sheikahs, have passed down. Sheik says that we must listen well to seek the Triforce. The Sacred Realm, the resting place of the Triforce, is a mirror that reflects what is in the heart. Good or evil, the Sacred Realm will reflect the intentions of the individual who touches the Triforce. The Triforce is a balance that weighs the 3 forces: power, wisdom, and courage. If an individual who holds the Sacred Triangle has all 3 forces in balance, then they will gain the true force to govern all. If there is no balance between the 3 virtues, the Triforce will separate into 3 parts. The one who touched the Triforce will only get the part that they most believed in. If that one seeks the true force, they must acquire the lost 2 parts. These 2 parts will be held by those chosen by destiny on the backs of their hands. Sheik mentions that Ganondorf entered through the Door of Time, the door that Link opened 7 years prior, entering the Sacred Realm. The Sheikah's legend of the Triforce came true when Ganondorf touched the Triforce. Ganondorf had then received the Triforce of Power. This granted him the ability to become an evil king, but was still unsatisfied. Ganondorf began to search for those chosen by destiny to complete the Triforce. Sheik then reveals that Link is the one who harbors the Triforce of Courage. Sheik then unveils that the one who wields the Triforce of Wisdom is the Princess of Hyrule, Zelda herself. She states that she is apologetic for meeting Link in disguise, but she says she had to do so to hide from Ganondorf. She then details her account of what happened 7 years prior with a cutscene. She saw Link as she was escaping on horseback with Impa. She believed that entrusting Link with the Ocarina of Time would be everyone's best chance for hope. She believed that Ganondorf wouldn't be able to enter the Sacred Realm without the Ocarina, but she was proven wrong. Link's spirit was sealed for 7 years in the Sacred Realm, and Ganondorf soon followed by invading the place. Ganondorf became the evil king, as the Sacred Realm became the evil realm. Zelda says that this was an unfortunate coincidence. So she pretended to be a member of the Sheikahs for 7 years until Link returned. She says that Ganondorf's Dark Age will now end because Link is back. Zelda says that the 6 sages will open the sealed door to lure Ganondorf back into the evil realm. That's when she will seal the door behind him. She requests that Link protect her as she is able to do her part. She then gifts Link with a key item, the light arrows. After we receive the light arrows, the temple begins to experience an earthquake. This can only mean one thing. Ganondorf just pulled an MCU Thanos!
Fine. I'll do it myself.
He commends Zelda for evading his search, all while calling her a traitor. He claims that he knew that she would appear if he allowed Link to wander around long enough. He's reluctant to admit that he underestimated Link, but corrects himself by saying that it was the Triforce of Courage that he misjudged, saying that he will become the true ruler of the world with the Triforce pieces residing in Link and Zelda. Ganondorf finishes his statement by mocking the idea that Link could save Zelda at his castle, all while giving the same laugh from 7 years before.
We go out and they come in.
Link has now been pushed over the edge with Ganondorf's latest stunt. Time to give the King of Evil a piece of our minds. Ganondorf has really the whole place in the last 7 years, as we can tell from this cutscene. Before we enter the castle, walk over here to find a massive pillar structure. Remember this for a little bit because it will be something that we can get in Ganon's castle that will allow us to move it. When the Navi indicator appears, she'll tell us that we have to rescue Princess Zelda from Ganon's castle. Walking up to the edge, Rauru chips in by having the sages create a bridge to the castle, saying that the sages won't be able to do much more with the barriers in Ganon's tower blocking their power. After saying that Link must save the princess, they create a rainbow road. I'm certain we all thought about Mario Kart when we first saw this bridge. Speaking to Saria, we find that the sages are channeling their power into Link, and that the destiny of Hyrule depends on him. Time to enter the final dungeon of the game. There isn't much for music in the beginning, so I may skim through this part. Inside Ganon's castle, there are 6 evil barriers that must be dispelled, one for every temple we've been to. The first barrier we want to dispel is the shadow barrier. The reason for this is that there's a treasure in here that will allow us to move the massive pillars that we saw before. Light the torch with the fire arrows to unlock a path that will allow you to cross the chasm. Once you get here, equip the Lens of Truth to reveal an invisible path. Hit the rusted switch with the Megaton hammer to unlock the door. Jump down to this switch to unlock a chest. Inside are the golden gauntlets. This will allow us to move the massive pillars. This room contains the source of the barrier. Hit the orange sphere with the light arrows to dispel it. Impa will appear here to tell Link to save Princess Zelda, after which she warps him outside of the shadow barrier area. Go back outside to the place that has the massive pillar. You will find that you can now move it with the golden gauntlets equipped. Here we will find a Great Fairy of Courage. She will double the number of hit points that Link has, and this will cause damage dealt by enemies to be reduced by half. Back in Ganon's castle, we can go in order around the barriers, with the obvious exception of the shadow barrier, by traveling in a counterclockwise fashion. The first place we go to is the forest barrier. In this room, defeat the Wolfos and light the torches the way you see me do so here. This will unlock the door. In this room, all that we need to do is collect the silver rupees. Follow what I do to unlock the door to the next room. By using the light arrows on this barrier, Zarya will appear. She will tell Link to hurry up before warping him outside the forest barrier area. Next up is the water barrier. Don't forget to have an empty bottle so that you can obtain blue fire. You'll need to use it twice in this area. Once in this room after beating the freeze arts, and another in the following room after a block pushing puzzle. Use the Megaton hammer on the rusted switch to unlock the next room. Use the light arrows on the barrier. We are greeted by Princess Ruto. Much like Zarya, she'll tell Link to hurry up before warping him outside the water barrier area. Equip the Goron tunic and the hover boots. You'll see why as soon as we enter. There is a platform that will sink into the lava if you don't have the hover boots equipped. Collect the silver rupees to proceed. Hit the fire barrier with light arrows. Darunia will appear to tell Link to hurry up before warping him outside. The light barrier entrance is blocked by a massive pillar. Move it using the newly acquired golden gauntlets to proceed. There are invisible enemies in this first room. Equip the Lens of Truth to find and eliminate them to unlock a chest with a key. Feel free to ignore any of the 6 chests because 3 of them will cause Link to freeze his nuts off. This was the room that I mistook for being in the Spirit Temple in the previous episode. Play Zelda's Lullaby over the royal family's crest to unlock a chest with a key. Collect the silver rupees in this room to progress further. Don't be fooled by this room. Just equip the Lens of Truth to find the path leading to the barrier. Hit the light barrier with the light arrows. This time Rauru appears. He tells Link to hurry before warping him outside. If you followed my instructions so far, then the spirit barrier should be the final obstacle before we scale Ganon's tower. Collect the silver rupees in this first room to progress. After beating the torch slugs, hit the switch behind the bars with an energy spin to unlock a chest that contains bomb chews. Then aim the bomb chews toward the switch on the other side of the bars to unlock the door. This next part gave me trouble for the longest time when I was a kid. What I didn't know back then was that I had to find the fire arrows. I had shown how to obtain them toward the end of episode 6. After hitting the correct sun switch with light, we would be able to move on. After dispelling the spirit barrier with light arrows, we're greeted by Naboru, who tells Link to hurry up before warping him outside the area. With this, we can finally access Ganon's tower. Before we proceed, however, there's one area I'd like to show you. Come down here to equip the Lens of Truth to reveal a secret passage. This room contains an abundance of fairies as well as 4 business scrubs. They all sell the following items: a green potion, a red potion, some bombs, and arrows. To be honest, I have no idea why Ganondorf keeps them here. I guess that he needs to recharge while conducting business, but even then I am skeptical. This next part consists of a mini-boss gauntlet, so I will fast forward through this segment as we listen to a remixed version of the Hyrule Castle theme from A Link to the Past. You may have noticed that I pulled out a bottle for this part. You'll get to see a neat trick that we can use with this in a little bit. Now it is time for the ultimate showdown with Ganondorf. Watch this epic cutscene. Ganondorf states that the Triforce pieces have come together again. He states that he didn't expect the Triforce of Wisdom and Courage would resonate in Zelda and Link. He laughs while saying that the Triforce has gathered. Before initiating the battle, he commands Link and Zelda to return the Triforce pieces to him. In response to the waves of darkness, Navi states that she can't get close to Ganondorf, not until we use the light arrows on him at least. We finally come face to face with the King of Evil, Material Girl. I mean, Ganondorf. Now there's a good reason why you see me empty the bottle. It's mainly because you can deflect the energy balls that Ganondorf throws with an empty bottle. Here's a demonstration. During the battle, after hitting Ganondorf with the light arrows, Navi will comment saying that she has no idea what his weak point is. Ganondorf will give a mocking laugh if we hit him with the light arrows too late. That cheeky... He will perform an attack that will remove some of the platforms that Link stands on. If you don't jump in time, it will deal 2 hearts worth of damage. Ganondorf will be vulnerable when performing this specific attack. You could hit him with the light arrows here, but I show you how you can counter it with an energy spin. After a few more swings, Ganondorf is defeated. He questions his defeat before destroying everything around him like a loser on The Price is Right. With Ganondorf defeated, Zelda is freed from her crystallized imprisonment. She says that Ganondorf is a pitiful man and that he couldn't control the power of the gods without a strong, righteous mind. Both Zelda and Link are shocked by the rumbling. She states that Ganondorf is using the last of his strength to attempt to crush the 2 of them in the remains of the tower. For this, let's listen to an epic remix of the escape theme from Super Metroid made by Dr. Ocelot. Let me fast forward the footage. With that, the tower collapses with the only rebel remaining in its wake. Zelda says that it is finally over. The Navi states an apology for not being able to help in the battle with Ganondorf. That is when they all hear a sound coming from the rubble. Time to find out what caused that sound.
I'm a material girl.
Well, you heard it here first, folks. Ganondorf is a material girl confirmed. Oh my god, that is too hilarious. The title card here is pretty much self-explanatory for Zelda fans because Ganon is the true final boss of this franchise. He swings a few times before knocking a sword out of Link's hand. Navi says that Ganon will not hold her back and that they will both fight together. The Big Boron sword will be useful here if you obtained it. You know, for a final boss, His patterns are actually quite simple and easy to remember, far easier than in A Link to the Past. Navi will say that she has no idea what Ganon's weak point is, but hovers over the tail anyway. She probably knows that it is Ganon's weakness subconsciously. You can use light arrows to stun Ganon, but you can also use a hook shot to catch Ganon off guard. I find it funny how he just shakes it off. Halfway into the battle, Zelda will tell Link to retrieve the Master Sword while the surrounding flames are down. In one timeline, Link is defeated.
Here we are, the end of the universe.
Not in this timeline, Ganon. Link happens to have stocked up on his usual fairy supply. Toward the end, Zelda uses her energy to paralyze Ganon, telling Link to deal the final blow. Time for Ganon to eat the love of the goddesses. Zelda then cues for the sages to use their power to seal Ganondorf. Rauru calls for the ancient creators of Hyrule and the sages to seal the evil incarnation of darkness in the void of the evil realm. I would like to pause for a moment for all of you to look at Saria's face, which seems to scream,
"Oh yeah, we so got this."
Feel free to disagree in the comments because that's just what I feel. After the portal to the evil realm sucks Ganondorf in, he goes on a cursing spree. Literally. He curses Zelda, the sages, and Link. He vows that when the seal is broken that he will exterminate their descendants as long as he holds the Triforce of Power. In this timeline, the events here will continue in the Wind Waker. With that said and done, take it away, Hugh Neutron!
Looks like you're going to the Shadow Realm. Oh, it's just down the street, next to the Chick-fil-A.
We are greeted one final time by Zelda. She thanks Link for helping to seal Ganondorf in the evil realm. She blames herself for the events leading up to this point, saying that she couldn't understand the consequences of controlling the sacred realm. She then says that she needs to make up for her mistakes by having Link lay the Master Sword to rest in its pedestal. As a sage, she can send Link back to his original time using the Ocarina of Time. Everything has now come full circle. When peace returns to Hyrule, it will be time for them to say goodbye. As the two of them part ways, Zelda plays the melody of the Hyrule royal family to symbolize their victory and eternal friendship. Allow me to skip part of the credits till we see the following crucial segment. All of the citizens of Hyrule are now celebrating their victory over Ganondorf. All except for Mito, who is sitting next to King Zora as they talk about the people that they miss. Sparkling lights appear above them as they both look up. The sages look down at Hyrule from the top of Death Mountain to symbolize their ever-watching gaze over the kingdom. Link is transported back in time along with Navi, and with her duties of protecting Hyrule as Link's travel companion now complete, she departs toward the light without looking back. Link does the same but in the opposite direction, looking toward the future instead of to the past, and the Master Sword rests once more. In the castle courtyard, Link meets Zelda to inform her of Ganondorf's plans. This signifies that Link now fully trusts Zelda's wisdom. That's the end of The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. What a journey this has been! This game helped to define my childhood. I still remember getting a mix of both funny looks and general understanding whenever I would reference this game when I was a young schoolboy. To be honest, I didn't actually beat Ocarina of Time until it came out on the 3DS. That happened 8 years after I played the game for the first time on the GameCube. Remember that dinosaur of a console? Now it's time to give this game my opinion score. Story, 10 out of 10. Flaws and everything. Gameplay, 9 out of 10. There's always room for improvement. Visual and auditory design, 9 out of 10. It could have been better. And mechanics, 8 out of 10. There were good and bad aspects that could have been redesigned. For example, Navi could have provided hints for dungeons too. I'd say that despite the game's flaws, it has potential for a true open world remake someday. but with Nintendo's priorities being around the latest game, Tears of the Kingdom, I don't think that'll happen anytime soon. Before I sign off from this playthrough, I would like to give a special thank you to Sammy Sundrop for producing 3 beautiful artworks. This first one is of Zelda unmasking herself from the Sheik disguise. Here's one with a filter. It's pretty cool in my opinion. Next up is an image of Saria. She drew this one a couple of months ago, but it's still pretty good. Finally, when we zoom in on Navi, we will find a humanoid version of this fairy companion. Absolutely gorgeous. Thank you, Sammy, for producing these artworks. I really appreciate it. I hope you all enjoyed my Ocarina of Time review. I might make a bonus episode, but uncertain what to include for it. Leave your comments on stuff that I may have forgotten, and I will be sure to feature them the next time I get around to episode 10. Until next time, I hope to see you all on a paradise planet.